Okay, so if you are just joining, once again, my name is Danny Berkowitz. I am the community manager at GlossGenius. I'm joined here with one of our product experts and managers on the team here, Kieran, who will be joining us and giving an awesome tips and tools presentation on how to automate your booking. We're going to get started in just a second, but before I do, I want to check in with those who are here. Hey, Zamisha. Hey, Veronica. Please say hello. Hey, Latoya. It's nice to see you. Thanks for coming to today's event. Please let us know where you're calling in from today and maybe a reason why you came to today's session. We'd love to hear what inspired you to put your best foot forward when it comes to automation. Feel free to throw it in the chat. We'll give you a shout out. But really today, we're going to tune in into some of the really easy tools that we can do to debunk marketing challenges, automate your booking, and ultimately get ahead. We want to make sure that we're setting you up for success. So today we're going to go through a community discussion that's all around talking about the elephant in the room. Why is it that all of these tools exist and where's the perfect one for me? How can I really get on top of my marketing and have it kind of do its thing for me while I can do what I do best, which is my craft? Then we're going to go through some really fun examples of how you can automate your marketing on GlossGenius. And then we'll do an activity that I think will be really fun. If you haven't had a chance to play around with AI tools yet, this is your chance. This is a safe space for us to play and experiment together. And we also have one of those tools on GlossGenius to show you as well. Then we'll do a Q&A and check in and make sure that everybody's got what they need to walk away with confidently at the end of today's session. And we also do have a giveaway announcement for the end of this call. So stick around for the end and we'll have fun on the way there. Okay, so does anyone have, let's get right to it. Anyone have any examples of inspiration, why they joined today's session? I'll tell you from my own perspective that being able to get ahead on marketing, even if it's creating a post for my personal page, sometimes feels like a mountain to climb. Karen, what have we heard from our community at GlossGenius? We've heard that it's sometimes really hard to get ahead, to stick to a consistency. What else have we heard?
Yeah, a whole bunch of things. I think mainly that people are overwhelmed with just all the things that they have available to them. They will often get like marketing courses and things advertised to them on like Facebook, Instagram. We all go down that rabbit hole and it's like, what should I be doing with my business? And am I ready to spend money on campaigns, or like, is there more that I can do first? So it's just like, what is the starting point? Where are the gaps now? And what can I address without like dumping thousands of dollars into something that we don't know will work or not?
Absolutely. Let's work smarter, not harder. And especially when there's so many different tools out there, it can be a little bit overwhelming. And that's why we wanted to sort of debunk any worry or anxiety that you have. Let's say you're just getting started. Maybe you are watching this webinar and you're in school and you're just looking to build your business for the first time. Or let's say you've been around the block a few times, you're a veteran in the industry, you've gone from pencil and paper and one of those creaky old dusty books to maybe you're using GlossGenius today. Maybe you're not. I think no matter where you are in your journey, you are at the right point and we are here to help you. So feel free to ask any questions in the chat. This is a safe and brave space for us to inspire and support one another. And ultimately, these marketing challenges, the automation that we'll talk about today will relieve you in a way I think you won't expect it to. It's not just about getting things done. It's about knowing and confidently understanding what are your goals, how are you going to get there, and knowing that you don't have to press every single button along the way. You can make this work for you. So, all right, Latoya, Zamisha, Veronica, does anyone have any examples of maybe a challenge that you're working through today Perhaps that's why you came to today's session. We'd really love to hear from you to get your perspective. Also, Karen, if you remember or want to reflect on any good examples from our GlossGenius community, please feel free to tune in with those.
Yeah, I would love to hear from the audience and see why they joined today. So I'm curious about that. But one thing, I think I already touched on it, but I usually see members come to us and they're like raring to go on, you know, putting their campaigns out, like a marketing campaign, a text campaign, email campaign. And then I take a look at their GlossGenius website, and there's so much that can be done in terms of optimizing that first. And like if we're trying to drive traffic to your booking site, make sure that that's an amazing landing page for all of the traffic that's coming there. And I think that's a big step that most people miss initially, is like, you could have great marketing, you could have like great social presence, but if a customer lands or a potential customer lands on your booking site and it's not up to par, then they may drop off really quickly, you know? So that's just one big call that I have.
I think that's a great place to start as well, because I like to call it your digital storefront. You know, this is when people are scrolling through, mindless scrolling, or maybe they're specifically looking for a service provider in the area they live in. That potential client, it's a very small window that they are able to understand what you deliver, why they should choose you, and how they can make that happen. I know from my own experience as a consumer and a person in the chair that if I don't feel like my provider has put in that effort, I may not want to put in the effort to become a client or even return as a client for them. I want to check out the chat. Thanks. Oh, I love it. Okay. So Latoya says, I'm contemplating switching to Gloss, so I'm just trying to learn about tools available for stylists. Latoya, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. This is going to be a great session for you. Hopefully you walk away equipped with a couple more tools. Veronica, I'm interested in seeing how GlossGenius benefits SEO rankings and if the software is compatible with my website for embedding. Excellent question. We're going to talk about optimization for your website later today. Stay tuned. And Latoya, we're so happy that you're here. Thank you for showing up. Again, like, no matter where you are, whether you're just starting out, you're here, and that's the right move. Okay, so let's get into a little bit more of, GlossGenius, and what we hear from our community is that there's a lack of time to actually sit down and make these marketing automations happen. Sometimes that leads to inconsistent messaging. And what that sets you up for is failure to track and market yourself effectively. Maybe you want to get ahead on like the pop culture calendar, award season is coming up. I know that some of the examples I was going to bring up a little bit later, but like there are relevant holidays and things that we can look ahead for this summer. What are ways that we can work smarter, not harder, to set you up for success with that? These are common hurdles. I don't want you to be discouraged. This is all normal and you are not alone. This is why we're here today. So if you are ready to automate your marketing and your booking, type yes in the chat. Make that commitment to yourself.
Do I count?
Yes, you do count.
Thank you.
Love it. All right. Well, hopefully you're garnering up the confidence. Maybe by the end of this call, you'll get there. All right. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about today, first let's talk about the process of automating your marketing. What we know is that consistency is key. So having consistent marketing is crucial for your business growth. What does that automation mean? It can mean working ahead of time at the beginning of the month to do some content planning, taking a look at what are some holidays, what are some benefits, or what are some referral loyalty points that you're going to offer to your clientele in this upcoming month? How can you save time while ensuring that your messaging is on point and that it'll go without you having to click that button. So we came up with a couple tips that are really easy to remember. We always like to come up with some really easy pocket learnings that you can walk away from. So how to gloss up your marketing automations. Here are 5 tips that we suggest for starting at the beginning, or even just giving your marketing strategy a spruce up. Kieran, I'd love for you to take us through these. And I know that we have some examples we're going to talk through later, but maybe we can just like quickly go through this list and then we can dive
Sure.
into the demo.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first one, using AI to write your email and text. We have this really amazing feature within GlossGenius called Genius AI. And you are able to use this. We like to call it like your own personal marketing assistant. It can be really overwhelming to write your own text campaigns, write your own email campaigns, and like think of one, who your audience is, and then like two, what that messaging is going to be. So you can write prompts right within Genius AI that will, and it'll like craft a really great message for you, targeted at whatever that prompt may be. So you could say something along the lines of like, want to run a Labor Day promotion for all of my massage clients or all of my facial clients. And I'll create this like really catchy thing. You can give it more prompts to help guide it. Think of like using normal chat GPT, but having that as a toolkit right within Gloss Genius, which is great. And an extension of that as well, one thing that's great about Gloss is you can filter your clients when you're sending out an email or text campaign. So you can target clients that you haven't seen in X amount of months. You can target clients who have only like had a specific service, let's say. So if you only want to target those facial clients, you can. Or you can obviously like manually select as well. If you really know your clientele and want to send it out to specific folks, you can do that. So it's really nice. On the gold plan, you get 500 texts a month to play with, and you get unlimited email campaigns. So use it. It's a tool to you. And as we go through this, Danny, I think there was one of these events that I joined where one of the hosts mentioned like you have to get in front of a potential client probably up to 7 times before they actually book with you.
Yes.
And that was like an alarming stat to me at the time, but makes so much sense. Like, yes, we think about that visibility on socials, but it's also landing in their inbox, it's landing in their text messages because they could miss a story, but they won't miss a text. So get in there.
Exactly. And sometimes you have to like move the mountain a little.
Yes.
And it think about it from your own perspective as well. Like what would you like to hear? Is it having a bunch of, it can depend on different things for different clients, but it's
Yes.
totally up to you to define what is best. One of our awesome teammates, Michael, put a link in the chat. I'll also share it one more time just so that it's easy access. This is the AI marketing help desk article that we have. It's super helpful. It gives a screenshot, play by play of how it actually works. And sneak peek, we're going to actually play around with Genius AI a little bit later. But if you've never played around with ChatGPT or any AI tool that can help you out, if you're scared or hesitant, we totally hear you. And, utilizing a new tool is always a little bit scary, but with something like this, it could really help you out. You just have to know how to ask the right questions and have a goal in mind on what you're looking for. So we can help you out with that as well.
Cool. I'm excited for that exercise and have folks play around with that. Awesome. The next one is turning on rebooking reminders. Again, really great tool right within GlossGenius. So think of the moment that you have a client in the chair, you've checked them out now, service is complete, and you want to book them in for the next appointment. But you have a client like me that's like, I have no idea what my next month is going to look like. You're
Right.
going to have to follow up with me in a month or 2 months. I have no idea. And then that client is also going to freak out when they need to get their hair redone. And you don't have an appointment for another 6 weeks out because that's how far in advance you book. So rebooking reminders, absolutely incredible. Essentially, when you check out a client through GlossGenius, it'll prompt you and ask if you want to set up a rebooking reminder. It'll ask you how many weeks in advance you want to send that. So let's take hair. I want to get my hair colored in 8 weeks time. You can toggle it to 8 weeks, and an automatic rebooking reminder will go to that client to remind them to book with you. So you're not doing any of the work. It automatically sends to them and you get appointments that way. It's a great way of like creating a continuous cycle of bringing in loyal customers and creating loyal customers. So it's pretty cool. That's like one of my favorite features in general on Gloss.
I think that accountability is also something we don't really think about, is that trust is an unsaid experience. It's something that is non-verbal. It's part of the whole sum of their experience before, during, and after their appointment. So building that trust and I think from a client's perspective, knowing that my pro has that information, let's say waxing, knowing I need to come back in a specific number of weeks, I don't think I would have remembered that. I need someone prompt me to do so. And then you can handle that entire conversation. I put a couple of different slides here with some visuals that are really helpful with getting notifications built into your app as the professional. So like that POV, understanding, hey, someone is requesting a reschedule, or I sent them a booking reminder, but that time no longer works. Being able to have that seamless saves you time. There's no added fees for that. Reducing the amount of no-shows is crucial. And that really just starts with communication. And ultimately, all of these client reminders, the confirmations and rescheduling, it's all a seamless experience. I've also seen some people, some beauty pros, print out like a QR code and have it in the corner of their mirror or their booth, or right at the point of sale station, so that they can have that rebooking done there. Why not have it automatically through your booking site?
100%. I've seen people print out cards with their QR codes, which is still great marketing, but like having it all in one place where it's automatic, even better.
I think we can agree that we know the way to get people in your chair is to go out there and find them.
Yes.
Like you cannot rely 100% completely on digital marketing all the time. Yeah. That's unrealistic, I think. But we can, I think, all agree as well that there are ways to enhance and stick out amongst the crowd by making personal connections that ensure that client loyalty. So for that rebooking we were talking about, but also just ultimately on always open to finding new clients as well.
For sure. This next one sort of ties into like everything that we chatted about, but automatic SMS and email campaigns. We can extend that to the notifications that Danny just mentioned. Like you can use AI for your campaigns. There's also like a section for email notifications where you can add a little bit of your own text, like your own messaging in there as well. And this is a hot tip that I like to tell our members. I use Genius AI like beyond the functionality of the campaign sometimes. So I'll have it like type out some service descriptions sometimes, or like if I want to add additional messaging to my email notification, you can prompt it with some things and just copy and paste that into like your phone's notes and use it that way. But I like to use it for several different things.
Oh, I love that. What a great idea. And to like kind of think outside the box. Like it's not just about getting that Labor Day promotion out, but maybe I want to spruce up the way that I'm presenting myself as a professional in 2024.
Exactly.
Can you hold on to that idea? Because I want us to talk about that in our group activity when we play around with AI, because that I think is an amazing prompt for folks to play around with. Let's talk about SEO. I know that optimizing your booking site is number 4 on this list, but it's because before you get to your digital site, you've got to make sure that you have all of the inner workings that belong on that site before you can even start thinking about how you're externally marketing yourself. So let's talk about SEO,
Yeah.
and how you can optimize that.
I'm gonna get overexcited because SEO is like my favorite topic in general to talk about. So SEO, for anybody that doesn't know, stands for search engine optimization. And basically all of these search platforms, think Google, Bing, I don't know who uses Yahoo, but like all of
Yeah.
these Yelp, all of these search platforms are really, really important. And what they do is basically use an algorithm to index websites, the thousands and billions and millions of websites that are on the internet. So that when a user, like a random person, searches in the search bar hairstylist near me, or manicurist near me, whatever it is, your website then shows up because it relates to those search terms. So it's scanning all those websites to deliver the best answers to these people that are looking, that are asking those questions and looking for those answers. So it's really important. It is, in my opinion, like the safest way to build a long-term strategy for acquiring new customers. And keyword there, it is a long-term
Yeah.
strategy. So the sooner that you start thinking about SEO in your booking site, the better it's going to be for you, because it does index your site every day and gathers that information. But sometimes we find it takes, anywhere between like 2 to 4 months or 3 to 6 months, depending on traffic and all of these other factors that go into it for it to really hit and for you to see those results. So
Totally. And if you're like me, where like half that information kind of goes over my head,
yes, yeah.
um, I think the way that I would break it down, if I was starting from scratch, is number 1, making sure that how I'm presenting myself is the same and consistent on every platform. For example, if the way that we are presenting ourselves in the about page on your booking site, it should reflect the same branding and any booking links or any important information as your Instagram bio. Maybe not as completely robust, but just making sure that all of that is consistent across the board. That keeps clients in a neat file line directly to your booking site. Number 2, it's really important to think creatively about how you'll get someone's attention or get on their radar. So it might be hashtags. It could be some that are specific to your city. I know that we were using examples of like hairstylists near me, but sometimes it's like, I live in Philadelphia. I'm looking for a nail artist in Philadelphia that does gel X specifically. I will type in just those keywords into Google, and there will be a list that pops up. And depending on how clear your search engine optimization, your stamp on the internet, how like loud or vibrant it is, or how clear it is, that is where you will show up on that list. Don't like lose sleep over this. Again, like what Kieran said, this is a long-term process, but these are little steps that can get you on the right track for that. So again, if you are just sprucing up or starting over from the beginning, this is what we would suggest.
100%. And I love that call it, Danny. Like their SEO is the sum of all of its parts, right? Like each of these things that you do, whether it's on your social media or on your booking site, all the things that you just call out are an effort to like make yourself more visible online. So they all count. They're all important. And if you get overwhelmed by doing all of those things, take it one at a time. Focus on your booking site, focus on your social media, and you will get these things working together in due time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Last but not least,
Yes. Our trusty POS. Yes. So I love to say that your POS is like the final step with your clients in terms of like finishing up and wrapping up that appointment. GlossGenius is great. We have two different POS tools that you can use. One is our trusty card reader. We have really cool designs, really great for those pros that are like starting out and want something like that matches their brand in-house. And then we also have the Pro Reader that we just launched for some of our like, larger teams who've been in the business for a while. You're looking to like upscale your salon and your professional setting, that sort of thing. So it's both of them are really great, but just that brand impression that the POS software gives your clients is so important here. And the great thing about having it all automated is that it helps with that, like it helps with that impression, helps with delivering that brand to your clients. So we love it. We've had some like great feedback on our new Pro Reader that I'm excited about.
And beyond the actual equipment that takes the transaction, it's making that automated payment relationship as smooth as possible.
100%.
Nobody wants to have that awkward conversation. We want to make it as easy as possible for you to get paid and with like under the policies that you've determined for your business. So this means if you need a deposit policy, if you want to save a card on file, having chargeback protection and cancellation fees, making sure that you are set up for success and basically protecting your business. It's not only for seamless transactions and smooth for both the client and the pro, but at the same time, it empowers you to claim and deserve, get what you deserve.
Yeah. Reinforce those policies. It's so great having like a deposit that you're able to take on your services. That's like an added layer of protection. You know that that client is more likely to come in because they have that deposit there. And then you get to couple it potentially with like you have your cancellation policy. And if a client, cancels within 24 hours, you're able to charge them with their card on file. So it's really cool. It's a great way to protect yourself against no-shows, and focus more on the things that you love doing, which Danny mentioned, like your craft and, focusing on the clients that you do have that are showing up.
Latoya, that's a great point that you just made in the chat. She says, even with the cancellation policies, people will still book and use prepaid cards only for you to not be able to collect the cancellation fee.
Use your deposits then. Use your deposits because you don't have to refund your deposits, and that can go towards like your cancellation fee. So use the deposits, please. I know that's a challenge for a lot of professionals that we see these days, but deposits kind of like help offset that a little bit.
I think that that's another great point for automation. Like, Latoya, how can you like go to sleep at night knowing like everything's good? And if somebody
Yeah.
bails on me, it's not gonna put me out. I'm still gonna be able to hit my goals, my targets, and that unfortunately I'm not gonna be able to receive the entire service cost because this person canceled their service. But depending on your deposits and cancellation policies, you can decide what you get from that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
Absolutely.
like a peace of mind aspect as well.
For sure. And I wanted to mention to like kind of wrap up these 5 points that we have here. All of them are going to help you get clients over time, whether it's like retaining clients and keeping them coming back with your email campaigns, text campaigns, rebooking reminders, optimizing your booking site, focusing on social media. That's going to help get new clients. And the more traffic, like generally speaking, that you're driving to your booking site, the more Google likes that, the more, Bing likes that, all of these search engines, it's going to benefit you in the long run. And that's why you see all of those like what you mentioned, Danny, like nail artists that come to the top of your page when you search on Google, that's how you get to the top of the page and how you like eventually get clients. And GlossGenius is so great about that because
Yeah.
I don't
I
like to talk about our competitors, but like so you have to like search amongst 1,000 of other professionals pages, and this one is like you own your brand, and you own that for forever potentially. So yeah,
Yes. I'm kind of going off script here, Kieran, because I'm trying to find this awesome graphic that we shared.
yeah,
Um, Keep clients focused on you. Here we go. So this is an example of something we did a couple months ago in one of our community power hours, which was all around keeping your clients focused on you. But I think it's relevant to this conversation that we're having right now, as far as how to like get your SEO in line and make sure that you're hitting all the points. It's like a pinball machine. Like, how can you hit as many things on the way up? And what we put together was you can optimize your web presence. So that means making sure your SEO, all of your descriptions, your about me page, what you offer, your service names, any descriptions there, all up to date, ready to go. Leveraging client reviews. I feel like we forgot this, but having client reviews, that's an automation as well, Karen, right? Like,
it is.
we can make it so that after the appointment or even while they're sitting in the chair still, they're able to write that review.
Absolutely. They'll get an automatic link to leave a review after they've completed the checkout. And you have the option to either set up Google reviews so that they leave the review on your Google business page, which again, amazing, incredible for SEO. But also the other option is have them leave the review on your booking site. Also great for SEO. So either way, like building that, we like to call it social proof, like that trust building and confidence that will give other new clients like the want to book with you. Reviews are incredible for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing that. I'm glad that we pulled that up because I feel like we could talk for another hour about
yeah,
how to improve
100%.
how to improve that. Okay, sticking to it, I want to just be mindful of time and I want to give folks an opportunity to play around and maybe brainstorm some takeaways so that they can get set up for success for next month. Um, let's go like wait, before I move forward, do we want to hit anything else in terms of what's available to folks on GlossGenius?
I think that's actually one more thing that I'll mention since we were talking about Google is there's also a reserve with Google function. I think it was on one of the things that you just showed,
Yes.
Danny, but so useful. It pops up like a little button on your Google business profile that directs people directly to your services page to book with you. Really helps with increasing bookings. And there's also a book now feature you can add to your Instagram, which will also like direct people right to your booking page to book. So have those links everywhere all the time. It really helps.
And, I feel like we've got a few different professionals on the call tonight,
Mhm.
or today, and each of them might have different businesses. I'm thinking Latoya, Sierra, Veronica, Zaimisha, like, regardless of what kind of business you have, you should be thinking about what is right for you and your business. Just because it works for someone else doesn't mean it'll work for you. So I know we may be throwing a lot of ideas and kind of helpful for this like brainstorm session, but know that if you break it down by your goals and knowing what you want a client to take away or to understand immediately when they find you, and not only that, but go right to your booking, it's totally up to you and your business. So know that these are all great ideas, but it only works if it works for you. All right. We are nearing the end of our awesome community session. I would love to hear from Sierra, Latoya, um, anybody else that's on the call. We would love to hear from you. Please share. Were there anything that you guys were able to take away from in this brainstorming session? Latoya, I love your comment. Thanks for informing us of the Google Book Now integration. GlossGenius offers a lot. I work with a few people that use Gloss, but I think I'm about to make the switch. We are so excited to hear that. Definitely at least try. This is going to change the way that you think about your business, so I'm excited. We do offer a lot of the features for different kinds of plans. Please check that out in the chat. Sierra, I see that you're typing. I'd love to hear if you have anything to share from this brainstorming session. Maybe it'll help somebody else be inspired as well.
I wanted to add a cool tip while everybody's typing away. If you have any clients that speak another language, Spanish, Chinese, French, whatever it may be, I tested out with Genius AI, like create a promotion for back to school, but in Spanish, and it literally does. I mean, double check.
Wow.
Yeah, you could always double check with like a friend or something, but that is
Or
a
Google
cool.
Translate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
pretty cool.
wow. That's super clutch. Thank you
Yeah,
for sharing that, Kieran.
yeah,
I didn't even know about that trick. That's really
super
helpful.
cool.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I would love to hear from folks, but if no one has anything that they want to share right away, not to worry at all. I know that this was a really great and productive session for us. Sierra says, yes, I use multiple studio locations and do house calls, so I'm looking forward to using AI and forms to communicate easier with clients and faster. I also have been a part-time esthetician. That's awesome, Sierra. I'm so glad to have met you, and I'm really grateful that you came to today's session. This will be a great tool for you to try, especially if you are building out your team for the first time with multiple studios. And you're an aesthetics educator, so you're getting back into the booking. Heck yes, girl. You got this, and we are here to support you. I'm going to put my email in the chat. And Latoya, if you're there, feel free to share your socials. Please, connect with one another. This is what it's all about, community over competition. So that's my email. If you wanted to ask any more questions or if you need any support, you have Kieran, Michael, and I on your side, and we will support you
100%.
front to back.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. A lot of people are going to be joining GlossGenius. Some people are upgrading. I love to see it. I think there's so much to offer.
I know. I love to see that.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And if you learned anything from today, please share it. We'd love to celebrate you and the goals that you're crushing. Thank you, everyone, so much. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.